So I don't usually do political commentary. I'm an American, um, and this channel's pretty much devoted to um, religious investigation. But I wanted to comment on this uh, bar graph, or um, I guess there's another name for this type of graph. But anyway, it's a graph put up by Gallup, and this was revealed by the Liberal Hive Mind channel. And um, in the video, they're kind of trying, both sides apparently are trying to politicize Alyssa Liu, um, who won the gold in, I guess, individual figure skating for the United States. And if you've seen the performance and you have even gathered the least little bit about her background, then you know that this is really a celebration of art and, dare I say, life. Um, not hers wasn't a celebration of um, a political party, or I think maybe not even a country, because she said she wasn't really going out onto the ice to go after the medal. That she believed that if she just got out on the ice and showed the judges what she could do, then she would win. And but apparently, I guess both sides, left and right, are trying to appropriate her for their political party. And while I land in the conservative camp, and always have, as far as I know, at least since I've been an adult, uh, e- even though I am a conservative, I object to trying to appropriate her as a representative of the conservative side. Like, people are trying to make out like she has turned against the left, and just the videos I've seen of her talking and in interviews, or just going around preparing for events, she's she's like too cool to, she's like above that. I know that there's the history about, I'm sure her dad is a patriot, as someone who, I guess, kind of defected from communist China, and whose family has been targeted by Chinese agents while in the U.S., allegedly. I say allegedly because they could just be American false flag agents, just trying to reinforce their pro-American patriotism. You just, when you start dealing with the intelligence community, it's not so easy to deduce what's really going on, because there are agents, there's double agents, there's triple agents. It's just, there's laundry lists, flypaper ops, war. It's a very complicated thing, and it's not easy to extract the real truth from any of those stories. But anyway, I think it's safe to say that her father is an an American patriot, and that um, her family probably is too. But but I don't know that she feels like the ice is a place for political grandstanding. So that's why I object to trying to make her the mascot of a given political party in the US, even though I side with the conservatives. Anyway, it was in this video that liberal hive mind revealed this Gallup poll, I guess it is. It doesn't specifically say it's a poll, and I'm not sure who the people polled are, but I think Gallup is considered to be a reputable source. So the the graph says pride in being an American by political party from 2001 to 2025. How proud are you to be an American? Extremely proud, very proud, moderately proud, only a little proud, or not at all proud? Figures are the percentage who are extremely or very proud. Um, Figures are the percentage who are extremely or very proud. Okay, so this doesn't, I guess, consider any of the other um, options. I would have thought that, it would kind of average out the answers to arrive at a more representative measurement. But here, apparently, they're just asking who what percentage each party is as someone who's basically um, an extremist patriot, I guess you could say, someone who's very proud of the country. And in this time when there's so much doubt and so much gray area and so much misinformation and disinformation out there, I would imagine it's very challenging um, to be extremely or very proud of the country. Um, Unless you're someone, who's educated about the nation's foundational documents um, and you believe in those values and ideals and in preserving them, I guess. Anyway, so what the graph reveals, um, if you'll see here, around 2001, um, Republican pride in the country shot up to almost 100%, and it stayed there until about 2003, it looks like, and then it dipped. Looks like in about 2000, from 2003 to 2005, maybe. I kind of wonder if those were like the Gitmo Bay stories. Um, I'm not sure what other things happened. It's been a while, and to remember what developed year by year during the global war on terror is not easy. I mean, there was the one point where the journalist, I guess, got taken out by an Apache helicopter, I think, and like the leak, you know, really made like like one pilot's actions were supposed to really make the whole country look bad, I guess. Um, anyway, so uh, after the attack on 9/11, Republican pride shoots up from 90% to almost 100%, and it stays there for a number of years. Now, if you were in America during this time, you might remember that there were like flags on almost everyone's car back then. It was to the extent where I wouldn't fly one on my car because it was so damned monkey see, monkey do. Uh, and and maybe that's not fair, because maybe the people really did feel that way, um, and then the flag gave them a way to express that. But anyway, you'll see that the Democrat pride. So at the time in 2001, I guess maybe at the attack, I'm not sure what they looked like before 2001, but they were Democrats were very proud of the country to about 87% in 2001, and then with the rest of the country, but not quite as much, they went up to about 92 or 93%. That percentage of them were extremely or very proud of the country. And, people like to say, oh, it was a very unifying thing, America really banded together, but you've still got this 7 to 8% here. So that would be people like the Minority Report, who used to get on internet radio and highly criticize America and the Bush administration, and and it was just like this voice of America's always guilty, um, Israel's always guilty. I think they were also slamming Israel, and the Zionists are always guilty. That was kind of the first place where I started hearing some of this sentiment. Um, but it didn't really have much of an effect on conservatives. But I think it really uh, eroded Democrat um, opinions about the country. Anyway, so you'll see that Democrats kind of monkey see, monkey do along with the conservatives for at least a year, maybe two. And but then something happens, and it drops almost back down to where it was. And then uh, after that, there's a huge dip that lasts until, what is this, 2013 or 2014? Um, let's see. So if Trump was elected in 2016, then uh, Obama would have been elected in 2012, and what, also in 2008? Yeah, because Obama had 2 terms, right? So this is probably 2008 here, and all of a sudden when Obama gets elected, then Democrats start getting pride in the country again. And then, I don't know, something happens here. And then, I don't know, that's 2015. Something causes Democrats to really start I don't know if Democrats started getting the idea that Trump was going to win even before 2016, and that's what's causing their approval or their pride in America to dip. What is this? About 17 points, 16, 17 points. And then when Trump gets elected, it plunges. What is this? About 65 to 40, so about 22 points down to 42. I mean, that's just freaking ridiculous. And what this reveals is that for Democrats really are a personality cult. They see America embodied by who is in the White House, um, rather than America as something bigger than the President of the United States of America. And that's why their pride in the country goes up when Obama's elected and then plunges both times that Trump is elected. I mean, here it drops, what is this, 62 down to 36? So that's, what is that, 26 points? Yeah, I think that's 26 points. So then it's at an all-time low at 36, and who knows where it is now in 2026 after a year of Trump being in office. It's probably way down here, because, oh my gosh, we're deporting people who are here illegally. So, they probably think America is the great Satan now with all their little jihadist buddies in Capitol Hill, part of the squad. Anyway, but then look at conservatives. Their pride in the country is pretty steady. Here during the Biden years, it dips below the 90s, but not much farther than 85% of conservatives are extremely proud or very proud about America. Of course, the Democrats, they'll say, that's because conservatives are uneducated dummies. But, like, who's the more stable of the two? You've got the Democrats here who just, depending on who gets elected, that affects their pride in America so drastically. Does this look like a stable person to you? Really? Do you really think that America has changed that much since 2001? These people are imbalanced. And so when conservatives talk about TDS, Trump derangement system or syndrome, you've got the numbers right here. These people really are just negative about anything Trump, to the extent that someone like Ivanka Trump, who is left of her father, I think that's fair to say, just because she bears the name Trump, they're suddenly against her. Or Melania Trump, just because she's married to the president. And I think, especially being female, her views are probably somewhat left of her husband's. I'm not sure if they've ever really been laid out publicly, um, but I think it's probably you could bet money that her views are going to be at least a little left of her husband, but because she has the last name Trump, she becomes the object of so much hatred. So this just reveals a party that really is a cult of personality. That they don't see America as something bigger than the person who is in the White House, which is really ridiculous because I think a lot of people understand that, a president, in order to get his job done, he needs a cabinet, and not only a cabinet, he needs the whole country to get behind what he's trying to do. But here, just because a person sits in the Oval Office, that affects their perception of America and its foundations and its values and its current state of the union. Whereas conservatives, like, I think they believe like I do. And, there are so many negative voices that say, oh, it's over for America, or America has fallen, or this is the end of America. And they're all doom crying that America is just going to collapse any day now, just like the Roman Empire supposedly did. But really, the American spirit is that as long as America continues to exist for the last breathing patriot, America is not dead. But the least little thing happens that Democrats don't agree with, and they think that the country has fallen. Really, I think that this for them, they're trying to create a self-fulfilling prophecy. These Democrats, they really want America to fall. They want America to cease to exist. And they're working to that end. And so the more that they can demoralize we, the people, with all their fatalism, their nihilism, their negativity, they will. That's part of the Psy war against Americans. And Democrats are the useful idiots to carry it out. Now compare the independents here. The independents somewhat mirror Democrat thinking, and yet during the Trump years, they do dip a little bit, but you can see that their readings are far less drastic than that of the Democrats. So you get the impression that maybe they're seeing some of the same things that Democrats are seeing. They're certainly, just like Republicans, hearing some of the things that Democrats say, and being independent, they may place more credibility on what they're saying so that it affects their opinions. But you see far less instability here than with Democrats. Um, Even during the Biden years, they almost flatline. Their perception of America doesn't really increase or decrease during the Biden years. It does during the Trump years, but not as drastically as with um, Democrats. So, anyway, I just think this is a very telling graph, and it's really not a good look for Democrats that you can go from 87% at 9/11 down to 36% when America hasn't really changed that much. The deportations going on now happened under Obama, you know. I just think that Democrats, they're working to undermine America. They're not the Democrats of old who were pro-American, but who just had a different idea about how to strengthen America. But these Democrats, you rarely hear any kind of plans about how to strengthen America. You just hear about how America has weakened, and or how we need to do things for people in other countries or for foreigners who are here in America illegally. Um, you'll hear some of the whataboutism or the um, either or arguments about kind of like the Judas Iscariot argument. Well, why wasn't this money used to feed the poor? Um, as if there isn't other money that can be used to feed the poor. It's always got to be some program that they don't like. Well, why wasn't that money used to feed the poor? Sometimes it's because it doesn't really cost that much to feed the poor. It's just you guys choose not to do it. And there's a lot that can be done with the money that is left over. Plus, it's the Abraham Lincoln, who was a Republican, bit of wisdom that, or at least I think this was repeated by Lincoln. I'm not sure if he was the first to say it, but you could teach a man to fish rather than give him a fish. And that's kind of what Republicans are about, is you want everyone to be successful. You don't want to just fix the symptoms. You want to address the root cause so that everyone in America can be prosperous, not perpetually on the dole or perpetually sucking from the teat of big Democrat government, where they like to keep their slaves on the plantation so that they'll vote for them at the next election. Republicans don't care what color a person's skin is. They want them to be successful, because a successful citizen is not going to be stealing my stuff. So I don't care if the black man down the road, his house is nicer than mine, because if, assuming he got it, without using drug money to buy it, right? and white people can engage in drug commerce also. So don't think I'm being racist there. I'm just saying that the man down the road who happens to have black skin, if his house is nicer than mine, good on him, because he's not going to be taking anything from me. But if he's in a dire financial situation caused by Democrat policies, and you only need to look at big Democrat cities for proof of that stereotype, then if he's in that dire situation, then he's more likely to do something to me or to take from me. And, I kind of don't like that. I would much rather that they were properly educated and able to get a good job and able to succeed, so that they don't need to take what little I have in order to enrich themselves or to better their lot in life. So anyway, I just wanted to go over this graph because I thought it was really telling.